Hi, Mr. P here, and welcome to the Mr. Pollard English YouTube channel. If you're studying Cambridge IGCSE English Literature and Adichie's novel Purple Hibiscus, then this video is 100% must watch as we look at a sample essay response to a past question. This is actually the second of two videos analysing, planning, and writing a response to one of the June 2022 Purple Hibiscus extract questions. So, if you come straight to this video, you should really go back and check out the previous video where we look at how to approach the extract that the answer in this video is based upon. Okay, let's crack on then. So, the first thing I want to do is to have a quick reminder of the question itself. And it was, in what ways does Adichie make this such a disturbing moment in the novel? And this was the moment when Mama comes home having lost the baby, round about page 34 to 36 in my edition. So I also wanted us to have a very quick reminder of the plan that we drew up in the last video. So there'll be an introduction. Paragraph 2 will be symbolism. Paragraph 3, eyes and seeing. Paragraph 4, repetition. Paragraph 5, the compliance of the family to Papa. And finally, a conclusion. And here we just have a quick reminder of the assessment objectives that Cambridge have. I've highlighted in orange there just a few of what I think are the key words. Okay, so what I've done is highlighted, I guess, a kind of a key here in green, focus on keywords in the question, i.e. the topic sentence. In yellow, awareness of the importance of the extract within the context of a novel. In blue, the techniques, the how. And in that purple color, personal response. Okay, let's have a read through together now. In what ways does Adichie make this such a disturbing moment in the novel? Adichie makes this a disturbing moment in the novel by presenting what happens when Mama returns home having lost the baby. She uses imagery, repetition, and characterization to present the ways the family tries to carry on after such a tragic loss due to the violence of Papa Eugene. Okay, well, you always definitely want to use the actual keyword from the question. In this case, disturbing moment. You should give a brief overview, a list of the main aspects of the extract that you are going to analyze in the order that you've got in your plan. You might also try to show the examiner you understand where the extract sits within the context of the text. And you definitely want to keep the introduction short, 2 to 3 sentences maximum. So you see here, disturbing moment is focusing on the keywords in the question. Having lost a baby is that wider sense of the context of this extract within the novel. And imagery, repetition, and characterization are going to be the main things that we have a look at in that order. Right then, paragraph 2. One way that Adichie makes this moment unsettling for us is the use of symbolism. When waiting for Mama to return, Jaja and Kambili stand waiting close enough for shoulders to touch. The symbol of a sibling standing shoulder to shoulder shows how the two siblings need to look after each other and are close due to the fear of Papa. This is developed in the novel as Jaja increasingly stands up to Papa as he gets older. Another symbol of power is Mama's God is Love t-shirt, which represents Mama's strong faith, which is needed in order to bear the repeated beatings and violence towards her and the children from Papa. We've already seen the etagere and the figurines when Papa flung the missile at Jaja and destroyed it. They symbolize Mama's fragility. She enjoys polishing and cleaning them. The routine is a way for her to stay calm. The fact that Papa's violence has already nearly destroyed them demonstrates the fragility of life. This is even more disturbing for us at this moment as Papa's violence has caused the loss of Mama's baby. At this point, Mama is trying to comfort and distract herself by polishing the figurines. Okay, let's review this paragraph then. The first sentence of each paragraph, your topic sentence, you should use a synonym of the key word or words in the question. So instead of a disturbing moment, here I'm using the word unsettling. Don't worry, the examiner will still be able to see that you're focusing on the question. There are Obviously, two examples or quotes on symbolism, and there is a reference to the etagere in this paragraph. You definitely want to be including at least two, possibly more, short quotes or references to details in the extract per paragraph. There's also some knowledge of the text, the AO1, as a whole, with these sections, as you can see, highlighted yellow. Finally, there is some personal response here, highlighted in purple. Okay, next paragraph. In addition to symbolism, Adichie makes this moment troubling for the reader through the motif of eyes and seeing. We know that due to Papa's violence, Mama, Jaja, and Kambili need to not speak. Therefore, they learn to communicate through body language, especially the eyes. When she returns home, Adichie uses the simile, her eyes were vacant, like the eyes of those mad people who wandered around the roadside garbage dumps in town. This is disturbing for us because vacant reminds me of Mama's loss of the baby and both the physical and psychological effects this must be having on her. It is as though she is dazed and disoriented, wandered. When she has been sent upstairs to study, Kambili cries, although Adichie uses metaphor and symbolism rather than stating openly that Kambili is crying. This might suggest the family have to hide their emotions from Papa. In the metaphor, the black type blurred, the letters swimming. Adichie suggests Kambili cannot read the textbook through her uncontrolled crying. Swimming suggests a great deal of water. The image is made more alarming when the tears change to a bright red, the red of fresh blood. Adichie frequently uses blood to symbolize the effects of Papa's violence. But here, it might suggest that Mama's loss of the baby and Kabili's uncontrolled sadness, emphasized by the repetition of flowing in the blood, was watery, flowing from Mama, flowing from my eyes. Okay, what to say about this paragraph? Well, have a look at the first sentence there. To add cohesion to your essays, when transitioning from one paragraph to another, for your topic sentence, you might consider, or maybe you should consider, phrases such as in addition to what I said in my previous paragraph, and then give the topic of this paragraph. So, for example, here, in addition to symbolism, well, we know in the previous paragraph that's what we were looking at, symbolism. Adichie makes this moment troubling for the reader. There's that concentration on keywords from the question, or synonyms of keywords from the question, for the reader through the motif of eyes and seeing. So you're linking back to the previous paragraph, and then you're also telling us what you're going to be covering in this paragraph. In this case, the motif of eyes and seeing. So that's quite a handy hint, tip, if you like, if you want to add cohesion and coherence to your answers to your essays. Okay. You can see in here there's some purple, which of course is personal response, AO4. And there is also here reminds me of Mama's loss. Sometimes we get a bit hung up about using first person. First person is absolutely fine, and it shows you're engaged, you're interested, and you're giving, of course, a personal response. Okay. Let's move on. Next paragraph. Adichie makes this moment disturbing through the use of repetition. Kambili is fixated on Mama's stomach. It still looked big, still pushed at her wrapper, and I was still staring at her belly when Sissy came in. The repetition of still demonstrates how Kambili cannot process that the baby is no longer inside Mama. There is something missing, and this is echoed painfully by phrases such as her green wrapper hung lower than usual. The fact that it is lower than usual implies that something has changed, which of course is the loss of the baby that nobody in the family wishes to speak about because Papa caused its death. Okay, so for this paragraph, I'd like to zoom in on one strategy that might really help you to improve the depth and the quality of your analysis. And I call this going back into a quotation and zooming in on a key word or two, then explaining or analysing how and why they have an effect on us, if you think AO2, AO3. So here, for example, I zoomed in on usual, okay, and there's the repetition of still there as well. Okay. Um, Here we're looking at connotations, the associations that words have, maybe their metaphorical meaning, their figurative meaning. And it allows us, I guess, to unpack, get beyond that surface meaning, that AO2 aspect that's very, very important. Okay. So once you've given a quote to support a point, don't just leave it at that. Go back in and see if there's an individual word that you can zoom in and discuss how or analyze how and why it's important in relation to the question and in relation to the extract or the text as a whole. Next paragraph. Moreover, Adichie's presentation of the family as compliant to Papa in the final paragraph is deeply troubling for us. Although they all know that Papa killed the baby, they must recite novenas for Mama's forgiveness. Indeed, Kambili states, I did not even think to think what Mama needed to be forgiven for. The repetition of think shows that Kambili is trying to suppress her real thoughts about what has occurred due to Papa's violence, perhaps because they are too painful for her. Adichie always characterizes Papa as controlling in this paragraph, as he makes the family start all over on the novenas if they start to drift off. Well, here we've got focus on a different aspect of the extract rather than a specific technique. And this is fine, but when you do this, please be sure to include some aspects or analyze some aspects of the writer's techniques, the how or in what ways. And in this case, you can see we've included something on repetition with evidence and characterization here with characterizes. Okay. Right, on to the conclusion. Adichie makes this a distressing moment for us due to the awful loss of the baby due to Papa's violence. We're beginning to see that the family are upset by this, and as the novel progresses, the anger and resentment they feel towards Papa will lead to them beginning to challenge his authority and brutality. So, the purpose of your conclusion then is to summarize the main points that you've made in your essay and your answer, and then link them back to the keywords in the question. So you might also show your knowledge of the content of a novel and the context of a novel and where the extract sits within it by stating how and why the extract is significant within the whole novel. And that's this yellow bit here. You know, you're telling the examiner and showing the examiner that you understand and know why this is an important extract and moment within the novel. Okay, hope that's been helpful. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Please do subscribe. And if you've got any questions or any requests for other videos, then please drop them in the comments below. Look forward to seeing you next time on the Mr. Pollard YouTube channel. And have a really great day, everyone. Bye-bye.